We ain't about to sit here and make no excuses for this L. They took. Jalen Hurts was throwing dimes. I saw it live and in color. Dimes. He was throwing dimes.
Van Sumeren was the one who came in quickly on anger, and here comes Jalen Hurts. Hey, this last month, Tony, he has been something special. Has not turned it over once. He's accounted for 12 total touchdowns, and they've won all 4 of those games.
You can see the vision of this coaching staff starting to come together. The same thing on the defensive side, but Kellen Moore starting to understand what Jalen Hurts likes to do and the concepts. They're really starting to understand the rhythm and the timing of it, and you have these 2 explosive guys outside. It's a real challenge for defensive coordinators. Great defenders in the league, and he's there on 3rd down. You'll see him there a lot.
3rd and 2 it is, and Hurts is going to run for it. He's got plenty of room, and he steps out at the Dallas 49-yard line.
Great job by Lane Johnson, right tackle, to pin the right side of the line. Jalen looks, and you'll see they don't keep quarterback contained, and that's one of the keys to this game for Dallas. Don't allow Hurts to beat you with his legs, especially on 3rd and medium, 3rd and short.
It's just so dangerous. It's hard to contain him. Of course, he is exceptional too when he's in close.
We're going to find out if that makes the difference.
3rd and 6. Smith in a slot to the left. And now Hurts going to dump it off Barkley. Whole crew of Cowboys around him, and he gets away. Oh, the Cowboys had him. We'll check the marker. How about all that twisting and turning? He didn't have to jump backwards over anybody today, but he somehow found 12 yards out of traffic. Here comes the tush push, you got to think.
What's your stop?
There's Hurts, and he is powering across for the touchdown.
They have that play down to a science. Atlanta actually stopped them Jacksonville last week on that, and they aligned perfectly. And so every time you step up and look, you're like, no chance, or you got a chance. You got to have guys go underneath the offensive line, but not enough guys inside there. And it's a great shot by our crew right there.
And no, they were looking to kind of get back with the success rate last week, as you pointed out, so poor. It works for the first time today, and for Hurts, it's career rush touchdown number 50. Extra point good by Elliott, and the Eagles take advantage, and Hurts does the rest. So Hurts and the Eagles, touchdown drive on a short field. Last time they had it, and now a little toss play to Smith. He's got 9.
He loves sports. He loves America. One of the great human beings you'll ever meet.
1st and 10, and Hurts. There's a room, plenty of room to slide. And that's a nice slide too, by the way, for 8.
He does a really good job of protecting himself and getting down. And I think that you'll see just the pass lane integrity. You can't open up this whole side. That's way too much room. And I think just a little undisciplined there. When you go against quarterbacks who have the ability to use their legs, you have to control the pass rush lane integrity. Keep your areas.
2nd and 2. And there's a quick toss to Goddard for the first down. Well, they're happy to have the full arsenal with Smith and Goddard and A.J. Brown all intact and in action on the field.
Yeah, that's exciting if you're an Eagles fan, because this is a really gifted unit, really across the board on every level, from the front to the back end, and skill positions. And really, they hurt themselves is when they get stopped. That's the only time I see it.
First down at the 42. Hurts dancing around, buying time, planting, firing, wide open. A.J. Brown twisted down at about the 12-yard line.
It's a great job extending the play, and you see the time I talk about in the pocket, and once again losing the leverage and allowing Hurts to get outside. But at this point, you're just trying to find an open area, and he could have scored, but Overshown, who I told you has that rare athleticism, he rushes the passer, plays linebacker, ends up catching up to him and saving it from being 7.
Well, it was a 30-yard play that sets up the Eagles at the Cowboy. Well, inside the 20, the 30 of the Cowboys. It has been a brutal stretch.
Well, look, you have to put all these guys down here because Barkley is right there. Well, that leaves one-on-one with great receivers. It's not a great way to attack this team.
2nd and 8. Going downfield. Turnaround catch, back shoulder it is. And Dotson with the grab. Nice throw by Hurts, who got hit after he released it.
And that's one of his really great traits is the ability to have down the field. But like I said, everyone's around the box. You get one-on-one outside. So you just drop back, throw a little soft go route.
The Eagles have 1 timeout.
They bring in Parsons on 1st down. I think he's earned that right.
Open. That's A.J. Brown goes out of bounds for a gain of 14.
And that's where you're going to attack consistently. Obviously, you got Diggs on the other side. He's got an interception today, and the matchup you like. You got 2 great receivers. Let's work on Carson at the other side and keep using that matchup and seeing if they want to give him help. And when they do, then you go to the guy right next to him. So if the safety comes over, you throw to the guy underneath, who's now the back. Here comes the pressure. Quick slant right here.
1st and 10. And again, working the sidelines with Devontae Smith. So 2 straight completions for Jalen.
Are they really going to keep him on an island out here again? Quick out.
Pass to Brown, slashing across the middle and to the Cowboy 47. 18 yards on that 3rd down play.
Well, I talked about earlier, you've got multiple options.
They questioned it. They thought he was crazy putting him in. He got the last word on that one. All those stories coming up, including the McCaffrey return for the 49ers and their win on the road.
Yeah, Tomlin's pretty good. I think he knows what he's doing.
Minute to go. 1st and 10. And he's taken off. Hurts. Plenty of room to get all the way down to the Cowboy 23.
Well, they're in field goal range now. But Hurts just looking downfield. And when you turn and run like they did on the last play, when these linebackers who are guarding someone turn and run up the field, that leaves a whole gap inside.
24 yards on the scramble. Now going to dump it underneath. Gainwell for 9. Here's a 2nd and 1. Eagles out of timeouts.
No sacks for Hurts. Everything else you can throw in the middle of the field or outside.
Able to shake off the pressure. Fires to the end zone, and it's caught by Dallas Goedert. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
Mike Zimmer dials up a perfect blitz. Gets a free rusher. Overshown coming right in. But Jalen Hurts makes him overused. So they send the center back this way, and they bring the pressure from the right, and you get a free rusher. You can't do any more than that if you're Coach Zimmer, and just you got to throttle down just a little bit there. Hurts just makes him miss. Uses his leverage against him. Easy touchdown.
I'll tell you what was easy, Tony. They went 84 yards in 85 seconds.
You were hoping that it was 24 seconds, weren't you? So it would be 84 and 84 seconds.
How about that? But how about Goddard? Dallas comes to Dallas and scores a touchdown. And, of course, he wasn't in the lineup last week. He's been shaken up a couple of times this year, hamstrings and all. But look at Jalen able to get away from all that first wave of pressure and find his tight end for the touchdown.
And it's a great job fighting through it. And you see his skill set. He's a talented football player. And he's just another weapon that makes him so difficult to defend because they got weapons everywhere. And if you don't get quarterback down when you get a one-on-one opportunity right up the middle, it ain't going your way.
So Hurts was 5 out of 6 on the drive, plus a 24-yard run. Hurts has run for a touchdown, thrown for another, and now it's 14-6 with 23 seconds to go in the half. And don't forget, Philadelphia will receive the third quarter kick. Find himself victorious for the first time in his career against the Cowboys. It was 0 for 5 in games he played in at the Giants. 3rd and 9. Throws on the run. Eagles set up at the 5. 3rd and goal. Barkley returns to the backfield.
Not a shock that Dallas has by far their best pressure rate of the season. Parsons is back.
Drop back. Jalen looking around, surveying 3 or 4 times, steps up and fires, and it's caught for the touchdown. Johnny Wilson with the touchdown catch.
He is huge. Receiver from Florida State. You would have thought he was a tight end or something. Nope, he's actually a wide receiver. Look at this. Could just box him out and throw it up to him if you wanted to, but look at that. And great job. 6'6", 230, but Hurts extending the play with his legs second time. Got it to Goddard last time.
6'6" wide receiver, the tallest receiver selected in an NFL draft in the last decade. Taken in the 6th round back in the spring. And he has his first career touchdown catch.
That was impressive. A lot of good things that play.
The sound of Philadelphia, and the Eagles are soaring 21-6. And the Cowboys just not able to do anything on the offensive side. Down 21-6, mid-third. Come out firing to start this drive, and they're going deep. And it's caught! What a play to A.J. Brown with Carson defending. He just dropped it right in there for a gain of 44.
Coming right out and attacking one-on-one. And if Carson's going to have to go against Brown or Smith just by himself, it's going to be a long day. And what happens is you got to allocate the resources, so only one safety back in the middle of the field. Everyone's got to be down there to stop Barkley. Great play call. And we know that Hurts is a good deep ball thrower. That was perfectly placed, and one of the best receivers at the point of the catch.
You know, all the talk, but I mean, that's just passionate fans. I actually like when fans care and they want to be a part of it and everything, but when you're winning, it's hard to win in the NFL, and they're winning. He deserves credit.
He still has it, and Hurts is going to plunge across for another Eagles touchdown. His second running score of the day, this one from 8 yards out.
This is play they scored on last week a different way, but all you're going to do is you're going to pull 2 guys. You're going to leave this entire side, and you're going to find these guys come over here and block, and you just follow them because everyone goes to Barkley, and Jalen just finishes downhill softly into the end zone.
Yeah, he just, like a lawnmower, went cutting through people, including Jordan Lewis, at about the 1 yard line. Extra point added, and it's 28-6. Philadelphia looking like a team that's going to be 7-2.